And we did watch another MILF hentai, which was Japanese made. Almost the same subject matter, but I mean...
Nah, this one was worse for me, I think.
Really?
The dialogue.
Nah, I think the Taiwan was worse, bro.
Maybe the Taiwan was worse.
Okay, wait.
Okay, let's explain the second one first.
Yeah, let's compare and contrast, and let's discuss which one made us more disgusted.
What is the Japanese title?
So the second one was, I believe it was called Sakubasu Yondara Gibo ga kita, which means I ordered a succubus and then my stepmom arrived.
These titles just seem so much more beautiful in Japanese.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get like a title. You get like a tattoo of this.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Sakubasu Yondara Gibo ga kita. It's a saying of the ancient samurai times.
But when I summoned a succubus and my stepmom appeared? Question mark.
There's actually 2 episodes, by the way.
Yes.
Is that 2 episodes?
Yeah, and I will say, episode 1's bad, and episode 2 is even worse.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now you're like, maybe I'm outing myself. I watched both.
It's like, maybe it gets better in episode 2.
That's what I thought.
All right, so to explain this one, our main character, Takashi, is this fucking bowl cut head ass who is a virgin, obviously. And he basically asked Tu-chan to be like, yo, I'm a virgin, but I want to have sex. Is there any way to do it? And an anonymous person tips him off and goes, I heard that if you don't nut for 72 days straight, which is like, what, 2.5 months?
Pretty long.
Yeah.
And then you can technically, I don't know how, summon a succubus. And he was like, word. So he goes, he goes celibate for 72 days, summons a succubus. Sure enough, he manages to summon the succubus, but he's like, hang on a second. This succubus looks a lot like my stepmom. And
stepmom is said like once in there.
Yeah.
And it is convincing no one.
No.
It is convincing no one.
Yeah.
You know.
Bro has glasses, but is blind as fuck.
And the whole time they're both like, he's like, is that my mom? And she's like, I think that's my son. And they keep like, the worst part is that, maybe it would be tolerable if they, wouldn't talk about it so much.
Yeah.
But the entire like 10 minutes of the first scene is just them like struggling with like, what do I do? Like, I don't really know if I should do this with my son.
Yeah.
It feels wrong to do it with my son. It feels wrong to do it with my mom. And like, they keep going back. And it's just like every single time they keep upping the ante and they're like, well, maybe if I just suck his dick, it'll fix it.
Yeah.
Maybe if I just do that, it'll actually make it go away.
It's like every other line has to remind you of the moral dilemma that they were going through. And like, what's even crazier is like, he nuts at the thought. At the thought of it.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, I think the first time he nuts was like, damn, she kind of looked like my mom. Oh,
oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's animated by T-Rex as well.
T-Rex.
Which have done some decent
Their
ones,
animation
if I remember.
is normally very good.
Yeah.
And this one is no difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is
They've done a lot of Gyaru ones, right? Yeah. I've seen a lot of the Gyaru ones.
I mean,
done
the
some
animation of this
freaky
one,
ass ones.
it fucking sucks that 2 of the best animated ones that we watched today were
the MILF ones.
Yeah. Specifically the mother ones.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they just decided to put stepmom as if that changes anything.
It doesn't change a damn thing. Because there's no dad in the picture.
There's
no dad in
dad
the picture. They share a surname.
Yeah.
So it's like even worse.
It was the line where she was like, suckle my titties like you did when you were a kid. And I'm just like...
That killed me, bro. That killed me.
She's like, word!
I was fucking dying laughing.
Open mouth, full titty.
Look, I feel like if stepmom, the whole stepmom kind of like genre.
Sure.
The stepmom needs to like come into the... needs to...
Pick your words wisely.
Great choice of words.
The stepmom needs to appear into the kid's life, not the kids, the guys.
Keep digging the hole down.
Shut the fuck up.
Run it back.
They need to appear into the person's life
Yeah.
after they'd already reached like, adulthood. You know?
Sure.
Otherwise, because that's where the fantasy comes in.
Are we making the gospel here? We're making the rules.
Yeah, well, you have to.
These are the 10 commandments that we're
Because
building.
this stepmom clearly came in when this guy was still a fucking baby, still a fucking kid.
Yeah.
You know, that removes the kind of like stepmom aspect of it.
Yeah, actually,
You know?
I never thought about that. Because
Yeah.
it's like mostly stepmoms are like, would come in after like a divorce or
There
something.
are a lot
right?
of there are a lot of like stepmom ones where it's like they'll
I've been there since you were a
like
baby.
Yeah.
this is your Russian stepmom, son.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. And they start fucking immediately. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay. I mean, I guess they don't know this person. It is weird still,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's,
But this one is implying that like she's been around since Takashi was like a baby.
but look, I mean,
So it's like, is it a stepmom though?
yeah, and they just go at it. And after the first night, after they have sex, they're like, wow, that was bad. We should never do that ever again. And then they see each other, and you know he's like nervous, and they don't really talk.
Yeah, they sit together at breakfast. The next
And,
day.
and both of them have now gaslit themselves without talking to each other
Yeah.
that they are both not the person
Yeah.
who they thought they were fucking.
Yeah.
But then 5 days later, he's like, fuck it, calls her again, and they do it again and again and again until I guess at some point he basically just drops the act and is like, fuck it.
He basically
Yeah.
starts mirroring his own stepmom onto the succubus and being like, yeah, you know what? She might be kind of
Yeah, that's
hot.
the worst part. There's like a couple of scenes where he's like having this internal struggle where he imagines the succubus, who is his mom, by the way, that is his mom.
Yeah, but like actually like looks
but,
like his
but
mom.
instead of just like, I don't know, showing that, we get his internal fucking dialogue of him being like, oh God, she looks like my mom. I don't know if I should be doing this, while he's fucking balls deep in her.
Yeah, he's like, I never realized this, but my mom has a gyat. It's like,
Doing that.
it's like, bro,
talking about
stop talking for the love of God.
I watched the second episode so long ago too.
Yeah.
Because I was like, maybe, you know, because some of these shows, they have like one shots or whatever. So I never know if it's like a fucking continuation of the Avengers world building or if it's like a new fucking Iron Man to the Hulk. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I watched it and I was like, nah, this is it gets even worse.
Does he find out?
Yeah, he finds out and they just don't care towards the end.
Like fuck. I mean, they were leading to that kind of like.
But then it gets sad, I think, if I remember correctly. I think it gets weird. It gets kind of weird towards the end. Yeah. I remember I was like, oh.
Yeah, because like, I mean, bro is dumb as bricks. I remember when he like the first time they do it, and he's like, she looks like my mom. And then she starts screaming his name, and he was like, I never told her my name. How does she know my name?
Oh well, I'm about a boss.
Oh well, whatever.
Jesus.
It's kind of not good. If you like step one stuff, there's no shortage. And maybe this
I don't know.
I don't know who this is for.
Because like with this kind of thing, it's like a fine line, you know.
It's a bouncing act.
There's a certain nuance to it where if you go over a certain line, you're like, it goes from like hell yeah to like ugh.
Yeah.
Well, look, any old Steve can make a isekai. To make a stepmom hentai, it takes real fine art.
Yeah.
To make it balance it well.
There's a certain vibe
Yeah.
that needs to be checked off. Unfortunately, the vibe of this one is just slightly rancid.
Yeah.
I mean,
not
look,
good.
I'm sure if you really, if this is a taboo you enjoy, and
Yeah.
you like it when they talk about motherly activities while having sex,
Look.
you will enjoy this. But
So-
I didn't particularly enjoy
No.
that.
So
aspect of it.
which one do you think is worse?
I think
My mother?
I think the Thai one is worse.
I feel like whatever I watched in episode 2, I remember feeling not good after watching it.
Really?
So I'll just say this
Is there
one.
more episodes of My Mother?
No,
No.
it's just one.
Okay,
Thank God.
How the
Yeah.
fuck are you going to come back from that?
I mean, bro,
Get the sister involved.
bro is on like a generational incest run.
Yeah.
I think the implication of that law is that he's going through his entire bloodline.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
You know. And
The next episode is my sister.
look, I will commend the creators of My Mother for really not shying away from just this topic at all. There's no like
yeah.
step. The one line where I was like, brother, what? Brother, are we serious right now? Is when this I'll fucking say it.
What?
When he's like, this is where I came from.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's fine. The mom just like spread eagling, and then she's like, "Go on, take a look." And then the son's just like, "Wow, this is where I came from." And I'm like, "How are you hard? How are you hard? This is insanity."
Oh god,
It is the worst dialogue.
I need another beer.
It is the you know what? You made a good choice. Can I have a beer as well, please? I'm not gonna make it through this episode without one.
Oh.
But
Top
yeah,
10 things I wish I could wipe from my memory.
yeah.
I need to delete history for my mind after watching that.
But that's
to be honest.
the end of our stepmom adventures.
Thank
Or
God.
Mom and stepmom
Yeah.
adventures.
Thank God.
No more stepmoms, please.
Can we just can we go back? Can we go back to sisters because
No.
I don't have one. I don't have one to worry
I
about.
do.
I don't have one to worry about. So,
Both
you
of
know.
those are off limits for me. I have both. I'm not touching either of them. All right.
What about brothers, Joe?
Well, speaking
Well, I've
of
never had a brother.